Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our enchanted corner of the forest. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Smurfs' greatest foe, the wicked wizard Gargamel, suddenly had a change of heart? Today, we're diving into a story where a single bowl of soup might just rewrite history. So, grab a Smurfberry muffin, get comfy, and let's begin. Deep in the Smurf village, where laughter and Smurfberries were plentiful, there was one Smurf who was a little different. His name was Empathy Smurf. While others saw Gargamel as a menace to be avoided at all costs, Empathy Smurf saw a lonely, grumpy man who just needed a little kindness. He believed that no one was truly bad, just misunderstood. One day, after another one of Gargamel's clumsy attempts to capture them, Empathy Smurf had an idea. It was a risky, daring, and downright Smurfy idea. He decided he would make Gargamel a special soup. Not just any soup, but a magical soup of kindness, a forgotten recipe he'd found in one of Papa Smurf's oldest books. The recipe called for the sweetest morning dew, a sunbeam captured in a jar, the echo of a happy laugh, and, most importantly, a single perfect Smurfberry grown with pure goodwill. Empathy Smurf gathered the ingredients with care. He collected dew from the petals of a daisy, used a crystal to trap a warm ray of sunshine, and had Jokey Smurf tell him a silly joke until he couldn't stop laughing, capturing the sound in a seashell. Finally, he picked the plumpest, most radiant Smurfberry from his own little garden. He spent the entire afternoon simmering the soup over a tiny fire. The aroma was incredible. It smelled like warm sunshine, fresh rain, and the feeling of a cozy hug. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the forest, Empathy Smurf knew it was time. He poured the glowing golden soup into a small wooden bowl. Now came the hardest part, delivering it. With his heart thumping like a drum, Empathy Smurf journeyed through the dark woods to Gargamel's hovel. The place was as gloomy as ever, with bubbling cauldrons and cobwebs everywhere. Peeking through a grimy window, he saw Gargamel muttering to his cat Azrael about his failed plans. "Oh, those wretched Smurfs! I'll get them next time, Azrael. I'll boil them. I'll stew them." Taking a deep breath, Empathy Smurf knocked softly on the door. Gargamel flung it open, expecting maybe a lost traveler. His eyes widened when he saw the tiny blue figure. "A Smurf at my door, have you come to surrender?" he bellowed, reaching out with a grimy hand. "No, Mr. Gargamel," said Empathy Smurf, his voice trembling but steady. I brought you some soup." He held up the bowl. The warm, inviting smell wafted towards the wizard. Gargamel paused. He was hungry, and his own cooking was notoriously awful. He looked from the Smurf to the soup, confused. "Soup for me? Is this a trick? Is it poison?" "It's a soup of kindness," Empathy Smurf explained. "I made it for you, I thought." "Well, I thought you might be hungry." Gargamel hesitated. No one had ever brought him anything but trouble. Cautiously, he took the bowl. He sniffed it. It didn't smell like any of his nasty potions. It smelled nice. "Humph," he grumbled, and slammed the door shut, leaving Empathy Smurf outside in the dark. Inside, Gargamel stared at the soup. Azrael hissed, suspicious. "Quiet, you flea-bitten feline," Gargamel muttered, but he was curious. He took a small sip. His eyes widened. He took another, bigger gulp. A strange warmth spread through his chest, a feeling he hadn't felt since, well, ever. Suddenly, his schemes to capture the Smurfs seemed silly and mean. He looked at Azrael and, for the first time, gave him a gentle pat on the head instead of a kick. "You know, Azrael," he said softly, "maybe we've been going about this all wrong." The next morning, the Smurfs were working in their fields when they heard a humming sound. It was Gargamel, strolling through the forest, not with a net, but with a basket of wild mushrooms. He saw them and waved. "Good morning, little Smurfs," he called out cheerfully. The Smurfs froze, dropping their tools in shock. Was this another trap? But Gargamel just smiled. "I brought you some mushrooms. I thought you might like them for your stew," he said, placing the basket down gently. He then noticed a fence that had been broken during his last chase. "Oh dear, did I do that? Allow me to fix it for you." And to their utter astonishment, Gargamel, the Smurf-hating wizard, spent the rest of the morning mending their fence. Over the next few days, the changes were unbelievable. Gargamel stopped trying to capture them. Instead, he'd bring them interesting flowers he found, or warn them about approaching storms. He even asked Chef Smurf for his Smurfberry pie recipe. The Smurfs were baffled, but slowly they started to trust him. They even invited him to one of their festivals. Gargamel arrived, not in his usual tattered black robes, but in a surprisingly clean mended coat. He didn't try to snatch anyone. He just sat and listened to their music, a genuine smile on his face. He told them stories of the forest that they had never heard before. He learned their names. He treated them not as ingredients, but as neighbors. Empathy Smurf watched all of this with a happy heart. His simple act of kindness had achieved what years of running and hiding never could. He has smurfed the unsmurfable. He has shown everyone that even the grumpiest, most wicked wizard could change, if only someone was brave enough to offer them a bowl of soup and a little bit of understanding. And so, the forest became a much more peaceful place. Gargamel became less of a villain and more of a quirky, slightly clumsy neighbor. And it all started with one little Smurf who believed in the magic of kindness. What a Smurf-tastic story, right? It just goes to show that a little empathy can go a long way. What do you think would happen next? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this little tale, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from our magical world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.